The endgame of PoE 2 is a hotly contested topic. Last night we got the launch trailer for the 0.2 Dawn of the Hunt patch, and we are going to see some major changes. There's a lot to be excited about here, so let's jump right in. First thing I want to talk about is towers. People had a lot of problems with towers, mostly that they created a lot of busy work where you had to path between a bunch of these towers to get started on juicing in the endgame. Folks also sounded like they didn't like the way that towers felt to run, there wasn't any league mechanic content in them, and they felt like a chore. Well, all of that has been changed. Towers now spawn a bunch more content, making them effectively just a really nice layout map to run. Not every layout is perfect, but a lot of the towers feel a lot like the old Gorge maps from PoE 1 that everybody loved so much. GGG has also cut the number of towers that you need to run by 2/3. So way less pathing, but now we have less towers to juice. How do we solve this? Towers now inherently add twice as many mechanics to its zone as it did before. And now if you run a 6 mod tier 15, it's going to boost that to another 100%, basically being 4 times as much stuff as before. So despite having 1/3 as many towers, we're actually getting more content in our maps by about 25%. You're now incentivized to run juicier maps in your towers. I just don't recommend running Breach. On top of this, we're going to get to put multiple tablets in each tower. So completing a map with more modifiers on it will add more tablet unlocks, up to 3. It's still possible to find areas with multiple towers next to each other. So when you multiply the addition of all of the extra content, the additional tablets, it's going to result in some very nice zones. And I believe it'll make exploring feel much better. So when you find one of those areas, it truly feels powerful. The next exciting thing we have in the endgame is cleansing corruption. Reaching the nexus of the corruption will allow you to fight a boss that drops a bunch of loot, but then turns that area into a cleansed zone. Cleansed zones will drop fracturing orbs, including a guaranteed one from the boss, giving us something new to chase. Both the corruption and the cleansed zones now have new monsters, new rewards, and new challenges. I think one of the big problems with the first iteration of PoE 2 is that there wasn't enough stuff to do in the endgame, so now chasing the corruption around is going to give us something else to do. The next change I want to talk about is a small one, but I think it's really important. Fighting bosses no longer gives or cost XP if you die. Pinnacle bosses can be done at any time and no longer carry the risk of losing experience. Leveling in Path of Exile 2 is very slow, particularly once you get to the 95 area, and it made me personally not want to fight bosses until I got to a level. Once I leveled, I would do a bunch of content that was risky, and then as soon as I got to 30 or 40%, it felt really bad to go do a pinnacle and potentially die. So they made a change so that pinnacles no longer will cause you to lose experience when you die, meaning you can do these at any time. No one was really farming pinnacles for experience anyway, so I think this is a very welcome and healthy change. GGG has also added a bunch of new maps to the endgame. Some of these are special, unique type maps where the goal is to not just kill all the rares or kill the final boss, but there is something else to engage with. The one I'm particularly excited about is the map that has up to 10 bosses spawn that you fight all in a row in a ritual sort of arena. There is a Kalandra map that is back that is going to drop some very valuable bases. I think it's going to be very exciting to find these new unique maps, which they've said are going to be far more common than they were before. Also, there isn't just 2 unique maps. I think there is now 7 unique maps. So not only are they more common, but there's more of them, so they will appear far more often. The last thing I want to talk about is the Rogue Exile edition. Rogue Exiles are not super exciting to fight in PoE 1 outside of when you are juicing them. But now in PoE 2, when you find a Rogue Exile, they're going to be potentially carrying some unique items on them. They will be wearing these items, and it will show below their health bar. And if you successfully kill them, they will drop all the uniques that they're showing. Additionally, these Rogue Exiles will shout at you when you first discover them, which will make finding them even more exciting. This is a very fun and welcome change to an endgame that was lacking exciting things to find. I think they've done a great job of adding a lot of that into the endgame. I am super excited for the endgame of PoE 2 in the 0.20 launch, which is next week. Let me know down in the comments if you feel the same or differently. But either way, I'm going to go get ready for the stream. I will see you guys over there, twitch.tv/AER0___. We're going to be doing some leveling practice for our Shattering Palm build, which I think will survive the patch notes, potentially even get a buff. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you click like, subscribe, etc. And I'll see you over on the stream. And as always, take care.